Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
You say Michael Campbell.
Yep.
But what would you put in between Nelson and Allingham?
Nelson, the best in the world, Allingham.
And that's what other people are saying.
It's not me.
Yeah.
That's why I never introduce myself like that.
A bit embarrassed by it.
I mean, I don't want to talk about it really, but technically that's what would be.
Yeah. If you ever hear us call him BITW, that's, you know what we're saying.
Yeah. Could you imagine just calling somebody best in the world, just in general, as their nickname? Hey, best in the world. What's going on?
We might be talking about best in the world later in this podcast. I don't want to give away too much, but my podnapping does include best in the world.
Oh my God. I didn't know we were going to have the Pope on the show.
Very weird choice.
Did you notice how my eyes quickly dart around the room like, what's just anything?
What was it that made you say Pope? In this room that we're in, what was it that made you say Pope? We have a couple of vintage movie posters.
It was the King Kong movie poster. Nothing says Pope more than a tied up woman in front of a giant gorilla.
First of all, we know one, it wouldn't be female. Two, wouldn't be an adult. But apart from that,
Well, that's
you make the other connections. I didn't say it.
So, Cambo. Oh yeah, let's just start. I thought we were already discussing something.
No,
we weren't. No. All right, let's get into it. This first one was in the subreddit Crazy Ideas, and it was by Koala Deluxe. Mobile phones should be banned at all concerts. Instead, the show is professionally recorded and the audience can just enjoy the show and download the video footage later for free.
Yeah, that doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, that is such a good idea. Yeah. Also, everybody should just have free money all the time. And
so, as someone in video production,
I
have some thoughts about this.
Yeah.
Look, I am all for phones. Yeah, there are artists, in fact, that I think Jack White of the White Stripes, I believe, is quite famous for a no phone policy at his shows. Yeah. I know Dave Chappelle, the comedian, is also very strict. Like, you literally have to put it in like those little security bags.
Yeah,
I think. The idea is like, just be there, just enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So that I'm fine with that. You know.
Yeah.
Also, secondly, let people just enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Some people like doing it. It's fine.
Some people
you don't have to record it on your phone.
Yeah.
Unless they're like in your face with their phone, then obviously.
Yeah, that's annoying. I feel like there's always at least some of those. It's probably not the majority, but there's definitely some of those people that are like in the way of others with their phone. Yeah. How do they do the hold up your light, your phone light and wave?
Yeah, that's true. No one has lighters anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Just also quickly on the professionally record every single show. Here's a bit of a secret for you. Most pro shoots, which is what they're called, are recorded over 2 nights because you cannot get enough angles. One, you need a crew. By the way, you need probably 4 cameras, and one night they set up 4 setups and they record it, and then the second night they move and get 4 more setups and record it and put them all together. So that's at least 2 nights, 2 crews being paid, let alone sound mixing and editing of that. Yeah, for every single show on a tour.
Yeah, I think What's funny as well is I would say, and I am definitely not the audience for this necessarily, because, I'm just picturing in my head like those larger stadium concerts sort of thing. Yeah. But I think that recording just the band playing when you're miles back in the crowd is the worst recording that no one will ever watch again in their lives. Yeah. The sound is going to be terrible from that point. Yeah. You can't see anybody. Maybe if you zoom, you get a slightly better look. Yeah. But other things that you might film are stuff that wouldn't get put into a release anyway. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, there's this like dude trying to get on stage. Yeah. That's fun. I'm gonna film that bit. That's not going to come out in the professional release.
Also, here's something else. If they professionally recorded every concert and released it, there would be a lot more people that wouldn't go to the concert because you can watch a professional recording of their Melbourne concert.
It would be so much better quality, Cambo. I could I'll sit on my couch in my pajamas.
Yeah.
And watch some Metallica.
Everyone gets tickets to Taylor Swift that way, don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Just like how they don't professionally record and release Broadway musicals because they would actually very much like you to come and watch it at their theater and make all the money.
Yeah.
Concerts are the same. Artists make their money through concerts, definitely not through streaming.
Yeah.
So if you like a band, see them live and buy their merch. That's how they make their money.
You don't even, if you can't be bothered, you don't even have to go. Just buy the ticket.
Yeah, just buy the ticket, pop in the bin.
Care. Wouldn't that be the bet if you were like a super famous band?
Yeah.
And you rock up to the stadium and literally no one's there, but it's sold out. You're like, awesome. I don't even have to do the show, but I've got all the money from my supporters. Much appreciated. That's the ultimate support.
Yeah.
If you really love somebody, just buy the ticket. Don't go.
Give them a night off.
Yeah.
I would also say that to your point about stuff that people wouldn't see is, from what I understand, is that you film a concert as a bit of a memory to yourself and like, this was my point of view at that concert. Like, this is how close I was to Harry Styles. Look, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Not the last concert I was at, but one of the last concerts I was at was like a nostalgic punk pop band from the 2000s. Me and Stacey went. And I took, I think, 2 videos total.
Yeah.
One was, we were quite close to the stage, was the stage, then playing a song, and then it swings around, and Stacey's dancing, which is just like a little thing that I liked, being like, isn't this fun for me to remember? The other one was a video, like you said, something people don't see, which is there's a very wholesome atmosphere. And there was a mosh pit there, and I saw this guy, he was moshing, and he turns around to his friend, and he mouths the words, "Are you okay?" And then he gives her a thumbs up, and then he reaches and gives her a bottle of water, gives her a thumbs up, and then continues moshing. And I was like, what a wholesome moment. Just checking his friend, you know? Just being like, I'm going to stop this for a second, check that you're okay, give you water, you're all good, back in I go, which I thought was very fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I remember I think it was a Today I Learned on this podcast perhaps, that was speaking about people that record concerts.
Yep.
And they found that people that record concerts on their phone remember less of the concert than those who didn't, with the caveat that those who recorded the podcast and zoomed in remembered more than those that didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird hierarchy of like, most memorable to least memorable moments, people that recorded and zoomed in on their phone, people who didn't record, and then people who did record, but just in a standards kind of way.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting because there is definitely a part of me, or at least and my preference is to try and experience something just in the moment.
Yeah.
And like,
Me too, yeah.
I don't want to... I feel like I don't necessarily need those little clips or even photos. Like I don't even really bother. Maybe I'll take one in like the seats with my friends that are there or something. But otherwise I'm like, I'll just experience this for what it is right now.
Yeah. But that's why you don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything.
You went and saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
But you went and saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You can't think of a single song they played.
Yeah, well,
it's because they didn't play
any
recognizable songs.
Any songs that anybody knew. Yeah. That was honestly just such a shit concert. Did I I think I did say on the podcast, but I'm going to mention it again for any new listeners. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Weird Al Yankovic like a week apart. And Weird Al Yankovic was by far a better show. Like just by miles. I would say if you had asked me before seeing those, which one would I think I would prefer, it would absolutely have been the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And
they're rubbish.
Credit to Weird Al. He doesn't have a weird penchant for dating teenagers. So can't be said for both of the artists.
You know what? I can't be certain of that. Like probably
true.
not. But you know, I don't know his dating life either.
At least not publicly.
Yeah. If it came out, it would be like, it's
he's
Weird Al.
Weird Al. Yeah. He dresses in Hawaiian shirts and it's less surprising.
Turns
actually.
out this is tracking. All right, Cambo, let's get into Ask Reddit. Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by One Application 2371. Okay, so this one, we actually, I think maybe even last week or the week before, I can't remember.
Yep.
we actually spoke on a similar topic.
Yep.
But I just wanted to maybe explore this a little bit more. And I've got a backup one in case we don't extend the conversation that far. But this one is, what's an addiction that people often overlook?
Sugar.
Oh, yeah, sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
As someone that is addicted to sugar and has at various points in my life, like stopped eating sugar for a while, I feel like, one, it's in everything.
Yeah.
And I think more people are addicted to it than they even realize.
Yeah, because they're like, I don't eat lollies, so therefore not addicted to sugar. But
I don't eat lollies, generally.
Yeah.
Lately, my thing has become, if I need a sugar fix, I have a few jelly beans. That's my thing at the moment.
Yeah.
So I think more people are addicted to sugar than they think. And two, it's really unhealthy. But no, I would say definitely not ever taken seriously as like an addiction.
Well, I mean, there's this big thing about in the past about the sugar industry paying for specific research and lobbying heavily to say that fat was the biggest health concern in the world. Fat and salt as well, I think, in that same sort of vein. And it's come out since. Literally, people were bribed to say this, to just give false research, basically. To say that sugar was totally fine for you.
Yeah.
And we're learning, actually, it's one of the worst, like the biggest leading health cause, in for the things that we eat. And it's really, and we still struggle to accept that and get over that as a society, because sugar is now so ingrained in everything that we eat that we can't really do without it.
I only think possibly worse is whatever they replace it with, generally.
Actually, that stuff
it's got better.
I've looked in the past, and I'm happy to be proven wrong by anyone, but because, especially in the past, I've been trying to, or sometimes, not currently at the moment, but I've been trying to count my calories to lose a bit of weight and whatnot. And obviously sugar is very high in calories, so I've looked for those alternatives. Yeah. But I was concerned, what's the health risk with this? And granted, I didn't start peer reviewing research topics, but there wasn't really anything. There was an assumed, like, so with those alternatives, the reason why they're no or very low calories is because literally your body doesn't process them. Yeah. It goes in one end and comes out the other, and nothing has changed, right? Your body hasn't absorbed it. So the only theoretical risk, as they said, maybe it will, for lack of a better term, gum up the works. But that wasn't even proven. It was just like, maybe if you had too much, it might be as I. And there are different types of these alternatives as well. I know one can just be a laxative.
There was, in the late 90s or early 2000s, there was some kind of tenuous Diet Coke cancer correlation people were trying to make. Right. I think that ended up not really ever actually being proven.
I think it's one of those.
Happy to be proven wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that it was a weird fear-mongering thing for a while where they're like, actually, Diet Coke is way worse for you than regular Coke.
I think it comes down to this. I mean, again, probably we've learned literally in the 80s, 90s, where the sugar industry was, again, bribing people. So it wouldn't surprise me if in those times they were like, oh, no, something without sugar? No, that's so much worse.
That's cancer.
Yeah. What do people fear the most? I don't think there's actually anything really bad about these. Yep. Probably, again, one of those things, though, like too much of anything, probably not great for you.
It's all about moderation. But is there an addiction you think is overlooked?
Yes. One that I was really... one that I'm so confident on as one being an addiction and being overlooked, that when I went through the comments of this thread, I could not find it once.
Okay.
Although admittedly, I don't think I saw sugar on there either. So there you go. But TV. I think TV has got to be like number one in the world. I don't know anyone that doesn't watch TV at least once a day.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody come home from work, watch TV. Like eating dinner, watch TV. There is I don't know anyone who just doesn't watch TV.
There's a fascinating bit of archival footage. This is from the ABC here in Australia.
Yeah.
When TV was introduced in the late 50s, early 60s, they interview a family who was getting a TV.
Yeah.
And they interview all the kids. Mm-hmm. And they're asking the kids, are you excited for TV? And they go, oh, yeah, I'm excited for TV. But, and they're like, what do you like doing?
Yeah.
He said, I like reading books and I like, playing down with my friends at the street or whatever. And then they go back 6 months after they've got the TV.
Yeah.
And those kids, all the inhibitions have gone.
Yeah.
All they want to do is watch TV. It's actually terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. And it is just so completely normalized that that's the thing. Nobody recognizes it as an addiction. And I've even tried to be like, I want to watch less TV because there's certain things I want to do more of, like
play games.
I want to play games. Honestly, that even though that sounds stupid because I'm kind of replacing one potential addiction with another, that is kind of part of it too. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of these particular indie games that I don't normally get around to playing, and I want to experience more stuff because I'm trying to learn a bit of programming and and even just experiencing different games is kind of helpful to that cause. And but I don't, because I just end up sitting on the couch and for hours watching TV and then I go to bed and I'm like, ugh, I did nothing after work other than basically watch TV the whole time. And I feel like it's actually a really hard thing to stop yourself from doing. Like, try just go a week without TV. I bet you'll struggle so hard.
You know what's funny is this is like this fallacy that we come up with. Part of me is I don't particularly like binging. Mm-hmm. I prefer to watch an episode of something and then move on. And in my mind, I'm like, that's better.
Yeah.
As if I don't just watch one episode of like 10 shows
instead
of 10 episodes of one show.
It's
not better. I'm watching the same amount of TV, but in my mind, I'm like, well, I didn't watch 6 episodes of that show, so it's better.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm one of the good ones. It's just funny, and I really just think, I mean, that is to say, like, if, for example, I go away for a weekend with my family or something like that, which I occasionally do, or even a week, or if we're going on a trip overseas, those times I don't watch it. So I guess in that sense, I'm not so addicted that I'm like, I have to, while I'm way overseas, I have to just watch a quick bit of TV. But definitely on my normal sort of day-to-day life.
That's the thing. Any break in the routine, it's actually really easy to drop TV.
Yeah.
But if you don't have anything else on, it fills that void.
Yeah. Cool. Anywho, let's move on to Today I Advise.
So now it's time for Today I Learned.
Today I Learned.
And also sometimes advice.
This Today I Learned is by A2 Soup. Today I learned of Kevin Budden, who caught a deadly taipan by hand and hitchhiked to town, still holding the snake. He lost his grip and was bitten, but bagged the snake and made the driver promise to get it to researchers. Kevin died the next day, but the snake was used to create the first taipan antivenom.
Wow, that's very noble.
That's so interesting.
Because if the snake had bitten me, I would have belted it against a rock until it died.
Yeah. Like, you motherfucker.
Oh, you absolute dick.
Yeah. That's true. I probably can be. I'm no snake expert. Mm-hmm. I haven't been trained in the ways, but I wouldn't have lost my grip.
Hold on, Kev.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was a life or death situation.
We appreciate you, Kev. We love what you did.
Yeah. But you could have just held on.
It's a deadly snake, Kev.
Yeah.
You got to hold on to
What did you have to do? Scratch your nose or something? Like, come on.
Look, the way that this is phrased, I think does Kevin dirty.
Yeah.
Because the way it's phrased says, well, he lost grip and was bitten, so then he bagged it.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume when he first caught it and lost grip, he didn't have a bag handy.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
silly.
Would have been like, put it in the bag first.
Yeah.
Yeah, idiot.
So I'm going to say the phrasing is kind of burying the lead a little bit there. I'm going to assume he didn't have the ability to do that. To do that. He had a bag and was like, nah, I reckon I can hold on to this.
Yeah. Do you know what also would have been really funny, right? Is the idea that I don't know how anti-venom is made, but let's say there's a longish process for it. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been funny if the driver turned up to the, scientists, the researchers, were like, look, I've got a taipan here. It was given me by a man who's now deceased. Mm-hmm. He wanted to make sure that you had a taipan so that you could create anti-venom so this wouldn't happen to anybody else. And they're like, dump it with the rest of them, I guess.
Taipan? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
another one.
Like, we've got enough of them. We only need one. They're pretty common, honestly.
And then as he's talking, another guy comes in, got a taipan here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And guys, somebody died. So really, boy, the amount of deaths related to taipan bitings from people who trying to give them to researchers was really high. But such a otherwise altruistic thing to do.
We love Kev. We no ill will against Kev. Could have had a little bit better grip, but we'll forgive him.
Yeah. I mean, I just could not. Maybe it's just because I'm a piece of shit person, probably, but I just could not imagine being in the same situation where they're like, wow, we found this new deadly steak in Australia. It's caused a lot of deaths, but we can't get our hands on one. Really appreciate if they can be found and caught, be careful, yada, yada. If I saw that snake, I'd be like, no, thank you. Nope, I will tell somebody else where I saw it. Even if they're like, honestly, they move so fast, they can fly and swim and they get away really quickly. So if you see one, like, you need to get it, I'd just be like, nah, soz.
Yeah. If someone would come around and go, did you ever see it? I'll go, no. Can I say who I think the other hero of this is that didn't get a name check?
Yeah.
Kevin caught the snake and hitchhiked to town.
Yeah.
Which presumes that someone saw him with a deadly snake just in his hand and went, hop in.
Yeah. I need a ride, do you? All right.
No name check for that person.
Yeah. That person
and they
is the real
continued to deliver it because he said, made the driver promise to get it to researchers.
Yeah.
So he was like, it got out and bit me.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it with you.
So I'm obviously dead. I'm going to die.
Yeah. But I'm going to leave it with you.
But I think you could take this to them. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. So good on Mr. Driver. Here's another one, Cambo. This is by Peg Pelvis. Today I learned that because of the amount of time it saves, the washing machine has been called the greatest invention of the Industrial Revolution. Others have considered it a key driver of women's liberation. Such a interesting today I learned, I thought, because of just how overlooked something like this, as well as countless other things that have been automated.
Yeah.
Even just in our lifetime, potentially.
Yeah. Another one is actually, slight caveat, but is modern dishwashers. There's a study that came out, I think, technically last year, that you save, I think, by doing dishes by hand, you use 3 times the amount of water that you would use in a modern dishwasher.
Yeah.
But people think of it as a quick, easy way to quickly wash some dishes, but it's actually worse than just putting it in the dishwasher.
Yeah. It so efficiently uses the water inside them. Yeah, that's right. It's really interesting. Sometimes I'll just put 1 cup in and then whack
put it on.
Like, this is saving so much water. I mean, that's a really good point too. So sad that it has been considered a key driver in women's liberation. Isn't it? Like, I mean, good, but also sad that it had to come to that. Like, we need to free up the time of women so that they can.
Also, like you just know there was some man in the early part of the last century. It's like, women's liberation, we gave you the washing machine. What else do you want?
And also another man before that was like, do we really need these washing machines?
Yeah.
What else are they going to do
We're
with their
going to
time?
give you the vote. God, what else do you want?
But I've heard they like doing the washing. So interesting, some of those small things. I mean, one of the, again, something else I brought up previously, I'm pretty sure there was a ABC podcast called The 10 Inventions That Made the Modern Economy or something like that. And for number one was, and debated amongst certain economists and whatnot, but largely agreed upon, is the plow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like revolutionized farming.
Which you're just like, what a simple yet somehow unbelievably, smart and time-saving tool that it revolutionized the world. It changed the economy because of
how much people could farm, therefore crop would grow, therefore entire industries were any modern food manufacturing is pretty much originated from the plow.
Just such a small and interesting kind of thing to being created that had such a big impact. And of course, there's what I think is interesting about this is how we do overlook some of those things like the plow or the washing machine. But there's things being created now that perhaps one day will be overlooked again. Obviously, the biggest thing at the moment is the AI, which has had such a huge impact in the last 6 months even. In fact, I'm just about to start an AI learning course, Cambo.
Cool.
I'm going to create one so that we don't have to do this podcast again.
Sweet.
It'll be really interesting to see the extent of that and how much time it saves on other tasks. Especially, again, something we've spoken about a lot is how AI is I guess, industry that we thought was safe from AI before it potentially existed was creativity.
Yeah.
And turns out it's one of the ones that's at the biggest risk. Yeah. I see, for some reason, I don't know how it managed to end up being on my feed so regularly on LinkedIn, out of all things. I see a lot for 3D animation stuff, editing, that just does things automatically. Stuff that, obviously we've seen stuff like DALL-E and whatnot, and there's the Discord bots that you can use that generate art just from a prompt, and you're like, wow, it's really incredible, couldn't have thought about this. But it's just actually gotten so much further already. Obviously this is more specific and you have to pay good money to get access to some of these AIs, but some of the videos out there that just show, I remember seeing some guy, artist, 3D artist, that was this would have taken me maybe 30 hours to produce or something. Yeah. But it's now 5 minutes. It's taken me to do this. That is just an incredible feat, and freeing up the certain industries with that amount of time means you can produce higher quality for a shorter period of time. And I think that makes people nervous because they say, oh, it means I'm out of a job or whatever, which, potentially true also. But there will always be industries created from that. But just in the way that the plow allowed people to do more farming, not just the same amount of farming for less time. Yeah. I think AI will be able to provide more capability over the same period of time than without it. So I think that we're going to have some really interesting stuff produced, really high quality stuff.
Interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. I think it should be really interesting. All right, let's move on into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, thoughts, thoughts.
This shower thought is by Dr. Z. It must be really humiliating if Taylor Swift and Adele dump you, but don't write a song about it. It would be.
I would lie. Yeah. I would just claim, because Taylor Swift never says, oh, Jake Gyllenhaal, in her songs. It's always vague about who it's about.
Oh, yeah.
So just pick one and go, that one's about me.
Yeah.
But when
people track relationships and then when the song comes out afterwards, it'd be real tricky. What you need to do is just before she releases a breakup song from her previous boyfriend is we'll get into a relationship and then break up with her.
Yeah.
So you can be like, this song was about me, but really it was about the one before you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What if you know the content of the song and she's going to reference something about, I know in one of the songs she references a scarf.
Right.
And people have said, oh, well, Jake Gyllenhaal's been seen with that scarf, so it's about him.
Right.
So if you know that she's going to reference a pair of running shoes.
Yeah.
You're posting photos with running shoes.
Yeah. It's all you do.
You get the public consciousness to know you and running shoes are associated.
Yeah, that's good. It'd be it would be funny if you were just one of the so you're the guy that's getting tea and coffee for people in a producing studio.
Yeah.
And you hear this song before anybody else does. And you're like, I'm going to start the biggest rumor ever. And then that's when you, as a nobody, is posting these photos of running shoes and whatnot. And then the song comes out and then you claim it's you and people are like, he's had the connection. He works at the studio. I think this was him.
Could you even spin this to say, look, the breakup had such an effect on Taylor. She hasn't even processed it yet. This is a big one for her. Oh. So she's not ready to sing about it,
In a few years' time, there'll be a song. I don't know,
about running shoes.
Overall, though, I would be humiliated. I'd be didn't even make it on the radar. Didn't even get a song about me. Ugh, rubbish.
What if you did get a song, but it wasn't a single?
Oh, right. Just one of the crappier songs on their album. The last song they put on their album. Yeah, and you're oh, it's not even, nobody even really likes it. It's just a filler song.
It's a real deep cut. She never plays it at concerts.
Nobody requests it. It's just there. Yeah. That'd be worse, I suppose. I'd still be that's me, guys, this one.
She knows who I am.
I'd go to her concerts and be the only person yelling out for that song. Here's another one. This is by Puffball Cat. It really ought not be wrong to disclose an interviewer that you only want a job for the money.
I always took that as that's red. They know that. I beyond the money. Why do you want to work here?
Cam, I'm going to be a bit mean as I occasionally am to people that write posts, but I'm going to assume that this person is quite young.
Yeah.
Because yes, absolutely, everybody knows that. If I was interviewing somebody and they said, "Oh, I'm just in this for money," I'm like, yes, everybody who comes through is in it for the money. We all need money to survive, obviously, but there are many jobs in the world. Yeah. So why specifically this one? Because they all offer money. Yeah. It's
if you're working in an animal shelter,
and
you said I'm here for the money, which is fine.
Yeah.
And you said, but are you into animals?
Yeah.
And they said no.
Yeah.
It might not be the best job for them.
You'd be like, okay, you've come for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I just think it was a funny thing to be like, this is one of those deep thoughts that you have when you're a bit younger and you're we're all in it for the money. And look, yes, we know that.
If we're going to be mean to Puffball Cat, I will just say that I fuck their mum.
Oh, wow.
I just figured if you're going to be mean, we may as well be
mean. Yeah. I think Puffball Cat is a piece of shit. All right. Anyway, I think we should get, after insulting people like that, this is the stuff that will get us pulled.
Yeah.
Because this is what I imagine. Reddit HQ somebody's said to somebody else, hey, do you know there's a podcast out there that basically makes it seem like they're the official podcast? And they're like, all right, let's have a listen. Yeah, it's not really that bad. You know, it's kind of doing something from our brand. It's not really taking away from it. So let's just let it be.
It's not like they're insulting people that use
our
platform.
This will be our undoing. Somebody listens, they complain, but like,
so you're saying if this podcast goes down, you should blame Puffball Cat.
I knew they were a piece of shit. All right, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, wherein we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing and we do it ourselves.
It's my week this week. Now, before we get into this, there's something I said just before we hit record. So I'm going to do this at the top of the show, and I forgot, Nelson.
Oh, you did too. Yes.
My other podcast, Cancel Movie Report, we're on our last report of the season.
The last one.
So I know some people prefer to binge the show.
Yeah.
So I personally think this is probably the best season we've ever done.
Whoa.
Our last report.
Did you get Tom Cruise on? You've definitely got Tom Cruise on there.
Yeah.
Whoa, cool.
Our last report is about a cancelled James Bond movie, which is very fun.
Oh, so you get James Bond on.
We got James Bond on, the actual guy that it's based on. He's horrible. Oh my God, he's terrible.
So many murders. Turns out he didn't have a license to kill.
But yes, very proud of this season. So if people haven't listened yet, I encourage you can now go and kind of binge the whole season. There's one more to come out next week, but
awesome.
By the time you catch up, it'll be out.
Yeah. If you are annoyed at how low quality produced this show is, you will very much appreciate how high quality.
Yeah, I can't stress this enough. We got Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, speaking of Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is out.
Yep.
We've seen it.
We'll see it.
Here's one of my favorite things is whenever you watch a behind the scenes clip for any Tom Cruise movie, specifically Mission Impossible, or you go on IMDb trivia, you read some facts that sound a bit like propaganda.
Oh, okay.
So what I've done is I've actually gone through and found the most interesting, what I would say, propaganda pieces about Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And I want to just hear your kind of reaction, whether or not you think it's true. Whether or not you think that it could be propaganda.
Yeah.
Because they all make Tom Cruise seem like the best guy.
I mean, he is the best guy. Okay.
Well, to be fair, I've sprinkled in one or two what I'm going to call the opposite direction, just in case I want to bring it back down to earth.
Okay.
One or two, let's say, sobering facts about Tom are in here as well, just to make sure that people are
okay. Yeah.
So here's one that I found. In 1998, Tom Cruise, along with his bodyguards, chased down thieves in London who nearly stole $153,000 worth of jewelry from their neighbor. Cruise sped to the rescue, in quotes, after hearing the screams of a woman down the road where she was being mugged as she exited a car.
What? Oh my God. I hope this is true because he is the best.
Imagine being like, help. Wait, are you Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Tom Cruise is basically a real life superhero. It's like he hears a scream, he turns up, he solves the crime.
And he got him. He chased him down.
Yeah. It's so good. And because of things like knowing he does his own stunts, for example, like adds far more to the probability that this is totally true.
Yeah, most actors would send their stunt doubles to chase him.
Yeah. Like Vin Diesel isn't chasing anybody down. No.
Here's another one. Just 2 years before he was chased down the muggers in the streets of London, the off-screen hero took Helena Vargas, a 23-year-old Brazilian-born aspiring actress, to the hospital after witnessing her being struck by a car in Los Angeles. After finding out she had no insurance, he paid her $7,000 bill.
Oh, my God. That's insane that there's no health care in America.
I know. This one I do believe. I think most people, if they saw someone get struck by a car, would...
Yeah, probably.
Offer, especially, if you had the means to offer to take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
And $7,000 in his world, probably not much.
Yeah, it fell out of his pocket.
Yeah. It's like, no, use that.
Yeah. But Tom, this is $3 million. Yeah, I don't care. It's chump change.
Here's another one. Tom Cruise is actually close personal friends with Scientology head David Miscavige, whose wife Shelley has not been publicly seen for years and is rumored and long feared to be dead.
Yeah, but I can't prove it.
Yes,
can't prove it, can we?
Certainly can't prove it because, again, no one knows where she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, he was best man at both of Tom Cruise's weddings.
Yes. Right.
Again, just a little sobering fact there, just in case people are getting too high on the Tom Cruise.
I mean, that's not... Cambo, if you found out one day that I had killed somebody, then you don't want to... That's wrong of people to say, do you know who's associated with Nelson the Killer?
Yeah.
It's Michael Campbell Cambo.
I would say this. If you killed someone and it was known, I would probably distance myself from you in some way.
But that's what I mean. That's why it's so unsettling. Because right now, do you think I would have possibly killed somebody? Because this is all rumored. Yeah. It's not like this person's being found guilty of murder.
Do you reckon Tom knows whether he did it?
Yeah, probably. But I'm saying in this instance, you don't know where I've just been accused of it. Everybody's like, well, we haven't seen this person that Nelson was seen with every day for a while.
Here's another one. Disney actually borrowed the likeness of Tom Cruise for the character of Aladdin to make him more likable.
Oh, I think I have heard that one before.
They said, how do we make everyone love Aladdin? Make him look like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. So, with a bit more height, though.
Yeah. And possibly some skin pigmentation change as well.
Actually, just on that, I don't know whether I was reading into this way too much, but when we went to a slightly earlier premiere, and so there was like a one going on in Sydney at the same time, the Melbourne one, and they had live footage of the red carpet and whatnot, which was just so bad. It was so terrible. But anyway,
it was being streamed live from TikTok.
So TikTok. But then Tom Cruise came on and everything was fine.
Yeah.
But
after 10 minutes of Rover McManus.
Oh my God, that was so weird. Anyway.
If you don't know who that is, don't worry.
Anyway. Okay. And he got up and they started talking to him and they said, oh, hey, let's get your cast on the stage too. And he's like, oh, cool. And the cast got up and I felt as though Tom specifically stepped like a few extra feet away from his cast members because I'm totally reading into this, but I want to say specifically because of the height difference that you would notice if he was directly next to them. Especially because like two of the girls were in tall. High heels as well and just tall in general, and he's quite short.
Yeah. Cruise single-handedly saved the company Ray-Ban. Thanks to the shade's prominent cameos in Cruise's films like Risky Business, Top Gun, and Rain Man. In fact, the year Top Gun was released in 1986, Ray-Ban saw a 40% increase in revenue.
Yeah, this is total propaganda in the sense that Tom wasn't like, I'm going to save Ray-Bans, and then went out to do it. It's like, no, Ray-Bans like spent a lot of money to get their product in these films, and they put their money on Tom Cruise, but they very much could have put their money on Leonardo DiCaprio as well. Like it's not. This isn't credit. This shouldn't be credited to.
He
Tom
didn't go
Cruise.
and say, "Do you know Ray-Bans is going out of business?
Yeah,
we gotta save it." Here's a fun one. His ex-wife Katie Holmes literally escaped from their marriage in 2011 while he was in Iceland filming a movie. A secret plan that had been plotted for months beforehand, including burner phones in a secret apartment that had been rented, and her family helping her escape.
Do you know what? I struggled to find validity of that online. I've actually looked into it before.
Yeah, it's a lot of rumor, isn't it?
I was like, I'm actually, as much as like, we've been seen of like his strong, let's say, what do you call it? Like control over Katie Holmes in footage and in images. Yes. So we know that to be true.
And the one thing we also know to be true is that she did file for divorce while he was out of the country.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which would indicate that she was like, he's gone, let's go.
Yeah. But I did literally try to sort of fact check some of this stuff in the past. Yeah. and I could not find anything.
Yeah,
and
a lot of it's like Daily Mail.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just not sure what to believe. Like, yes, he probably wasn't the best person to live with. Maybe she did feel trapped and was controlled by him and whatever. But and obviously not a good thing. But I mean, there's just exaggerations. Yeah. I think I want to say is not good. But exaggerations is all I want to say.
Do you know, in October 10, 2006, the Japan Memorial Day Association declared that day would be forever known, October 10th, as Tom Cruise Day in Japan. Oh. Tom Cruise's love and close association with Japan has made him earn this day. In quotation marks.
Just that's all it says.
Yeah.
No real extra context about that.
They love Tom.
Okay, they love Tom, and
they saw The Last Samurai. Said, "Yep, yeah, all about that."
Cambo, are we gonna? No, we're not gonna be in Japan on 10th of October. So close, we miss about 2 weeks.
Let's rearrange.
Yeah. He might show up.
Here's one straight from the IMDb page of Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise showed some impressive stunt driving skills during filming. This is of the 5th movie. Mm-hmm. The crew filmed 4 takes of Cruise making a 180-degree turn while driving a BMW M5 down a half-dozen steps in the streets of Paris. Mm-hmm. 3 of the takes were perfect. In the last 10 degrees of the turn, he had to turn the steering wheel, step on the clutch, and put the car into first gear in the air. Something that stunt drivers train their entire lives to do.
Yeah, I mean,
is this propaganda?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Like I don't exactly know what parts of that are exaggerated. I mean, probably all of it, but to some degree, not all of that is true.
Yep. This is another one from IMDb for the movie Mission Impossible Fallout, specifically around the halo jump sequence in which he rescues the other person. Rescuing another person which was filmed practically. Mm-hmm. Rescuing another person in free fall while skydiving is very difficult. Alan Hewitt, I assume it's some kind of stunt coordinator, says that it takes accelerated free fall instructors over 1,000 jumps to get it right, and something like 70% of people who try to qualify as at the instructor level still fail. Tom did it in just 100 jumps.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It is so funny.
So most take 1,000, Tom took 100.
So funny how they just exaggerate this stuff. He is so good at everything. This is the average. He is so above the average.
Also, just to let you know, Tom Cruise reportedly has not seen his daughter Suri in many, many years and is estranged from her because once you leave Scientology, you're a suppressive person and you're to be cut off.
Yeah. That's fair enough in my book.
Yeah, okay.
Cambo?
There's another one in Mission Impossible Fallout when he was flying the helicopter. He does what's called a corkscrew turn into a cliff face, which they say is something that only the top 10% of helicopter pilots could pull off.
Fucking hell. This is so ridiculous. He's just too good.
Yep. And here's the last one. Stunt coordinator for Mission Impossible 5 told Simon Pegg that Tom Cruise would be doing all the driving because he couldn't find a better driver than him. Propaganda or real?
Yeah, that's real. That's the real one.
Yes. Anyway, I just wanted to just bring up Tom Cruise as the superhuman.
The greatest man in the world, but also some of those really big blemishes.
Yeah, just remember that.
Like not talking to his daughter. Well, that was Podnapping. Now it's time for the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
You can be just like Hazza, who wrote... It's almost July is the title of the email.
I think you find it is July already.
Get your shit together.
Oh my God. This is definitely on you and not us.
They continue. Yeah. Please do not timestamp when you write it. They say, gentlemen cunts, how's life? Sounds great. Let's get to it. I like the velocity of this.
I hate it.
I have a pressing question that needs the professionals to answer. What is the best seat in a cinema? Love you guys. Has a P.S. I really do care about how life is. I'm just in a rush right now.
That's fair enough. Sometimes you're in a rush. A rush to go see a movie. Go see Mission Impossible, perhaps.
Yeah.
I need to know what seat to book.
Look, this is all objective, obviously.
No, there's a factual correct
I will
answer.
say it's further down than you think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Former projectionist. I mean, thing is, I'm very attuned to the cinema I worked at.
Yeah.
But there were specific parts of the cinema where the speakers all centralized and you got the best sound. Sound plays a big part in the movie-going experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's as obvious as saying, right, let's pretend you're building a cinema, okay? And you have to set up the sound. You got speakers in all the corners, on the roof, or everywhere.
Yeah.
They have to point in a particular direction.
Yes.
Where are you going to point them? Always in the center.
Halfway down in the center.
Because where else are you going to... It's not like you'd be like, well, we've done this setup. Let's sit at the front row and test that as a theory. Same with like the screen and what... I mean, obviously the screen just points forward. But, you're not... I think the middle is just like the best barometer of like... What's this going to look like for the majority of the audience kind of thing?
So, and generally, at least in the ones that I worked at, it's calibrated for the first couple of rows in the middle. So whenever Stacey and I go, we actually go a few, 1 or 2 rows down from the center.
Yeah,
it's less populated.
Yeah.
But you're still getting where everything's going. So, there's 20 rows.
Yeah.
From the front would probably be about row 6 to 8.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's where you got to go.
Yeah.
And also, like, I used to hate when I was younger and I'd go to the back of the cinema. I feel like that's actually the worst. I would almost prefer to be at the front row than at the back. Because at the back, I feel like you get so much in your periphery of not movie.
Yeah. Ugh, not movie. Oh, yuck, not movie.
Disgusting. But center and forward is like, well, you've just got basically the entire screen as your view. So.
There, I will tell you this is very specific. It will benefit very few people. But if you're ever invited to a premiere of a movie at IMAX Melbourne, there is best seats that are secret and not many people know about, but I won't give it away because we like using them every time we go.
Oh, okay. They come out of the floor.
There is specifically seats that we will line up earlier to get that I think people are less aware of.
Oh, right. Very sneaky. Do they hang from the ceiling, perhaps?
Yes.
That's got to be the best. Don't be on the floor level.
Yeah.
Get some in the middle of the room, the 3-dimensional room. Suspended in the middle. That's got to be the best.
I mean, speakers normally point down. If they pointed straight forward, I would agree with you.
Well, have you ever seen a movie suspended from the ceiling in the middle, Kemba? That could be the best experience. You don't know that.
Also, how's life? It's terrible. So it's actually very rude that you said that sounds great.
Yeah, exactly. I've already seen Mission Impossible. What else is there?
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. All right, life's great again. But thank you for writing in, Hazza. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. readitpodcast, readitpodcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at our subreddit or our Discord, which the link is in the show notes. And you can
rate, review the show.
Oh, yeah, rate and review the show.
Listen to Cancelled Movie Report.
Listen to Cancelled Movie Report. Listen to all seasons.
Yeah.
Theoretically, what you should do is start from... You said this is the best season, so you should go from...
worst season, number one.
Worst season, number one. And then go all the way to this season, end on a high. Yeah. And Tom Cruise is definitely on the show. So, so thanks for listening, and we will read you later.